Hey guys, it's Stephen Werner. Welcome to today's Lawn Buddy Masterclass. Today we're going to talk about something that we see a lot, and that's firing a customer, right? Knowing when to do it and how to do it. So let's go ahead and jump right into this. So when can you identify a customer needs to be fired or let go, right? So there's a couple variables that come into here. One, it really comes down to your time, right? So how far away are they? To where if you're condensing your route, you're realizing that that customer retention costs or any of the other variables we talked about previously, which by the way are in the description below, you've identified that they are a little bit too out of your way, and you can't necessarily keep them satisfied and keep your profit, right? So that's one of the variables you have to look at too, is what's your drive time, right? Does it fit into your route? Can you make it condensed? And if they're outliers, maybe you need to start thinking about firing that client. So another one. Is that property too large for the price that you're currently charging? So now that you know the retention cost and profit and everything that I just mentioned, you can also dive into how long is it taking you to actually service that property, right? So if it's a weekly mow that's taking you an hour that you're charging $30 for, you should probably start taking a look at possibly firing that client. And we'll get into how to do that here in a second. So the third one, and we see this a lot, is that customer's personality, right? Maybe they're just not a good fit. Maybe they come out and they always nitpick a lot of your work. You never feel like you're completely satisfying the client with the work that you're doing on their property, and they consume a lot of your time with complaints, or maybe they're just talkers. Maybe they come out and they talk to your crew for an hour before they can get out to another property. That is going to be something that's going to eat into a lot of your profit and something you need to keep a close eye on. And if you identify those customers that are taking up a lot of that time or filling a lot of your inboxes and texts and phone lines with complaints, and wanting you to come back and reservice the properties, then you need to start looking at firing the customer. So we talked about the top three when, right? When should you start considering firing your customers, right? Now we're going to get into the how. And what I always tell people, the best way to fire a customer is with your price, right? So if you go out there and you know that client is not going to bear a higher price, you just raise your prices and say, hey, this is my new price to fit in to where we make sure we're generating a profit for our company. We've kept a really good eye on that, and we just need to raise our prices. If they say no and they go with someone else, you've successfully fired that client without altercation. But there is a chance that they say yes, right? So where if that customer comes out and they talk to your crew for a long time, maybe an hour, and you're raising your prices from $30 to $60 on that property, there is a chance that they could say yes, and then that profit is still there and you can bake that into your pricing structure. But just realize that you're going to have to keep a close eye on them. Now, if they complain and they call in a lot, I would say that it's probably just best to terminate that relationship. And that method would just be kind, right? It's going to be an awkward experience anyways, but if you go up to them and say, hey, we're just having too many issues and we're no longer going to be able to service your property so that we can maintain a healthy relationship with our other clients as well as our employees, is a great strategy to deploy when you're firing a client. But you also have to realize that if you're abrasive with them, they are going to go and they're going to leave bad reviews for you, right? On every platform you can think of. And so it's always better to be kind and document the conversation. So that way, even if you were kind and it comes back and you get a negative review, you can display that conversation to show the rest of your customers that you are acting in a professional and courteous manner and that was just a bad fit for your company. So remember, are they too far away? Is your drive time eating into your profit? Is that property too large for the price that you originally have quoted? And is it a bad personality fit? And then some strategies that you can deploy to fire them obviously is with your price, right? So this also goes back into the too large property. Maybe you just need to raise your prices, and sometimes they'll be okay with that, sometimes they won't be. So you just need to move on from there. And as always, be kind. That's one thing that we need a lot in this world, is just to be kind to one another, but also be truthful. We need to let people know when we're not making a profit, because you have to run a business. You have families to feed, right? You need to be able to price your value for what it truly is. So, guys, I know it's a lot of information. As always, we have a phone number below with an actual person on the other end. If you need additional help or tricks and tips to help you fire a client or raise your prices, we're always here for you. We've linked the videos below for all the other master classes like we've talked about. As always, super excited for you guys to go through this program, and I thank you so much for your time, and we look forward to helping you in the future. We'll talk to you later.